On Christmas Eve 1945, one of the most mysterious disappearances in U.S. history unfolded. The Sodder family lived in a two-story house in the small town of Fayetteville, West Virginia. The family consisted of George and Jenny Sodder and their 9 children. That night, 5 of the children were asleep upstairs, while the rest were with their parents downstairs. Around 1 a.m., Jenny Sodder was awakened by the sound of the telephone ringing. When she answered, there was a woman's voice asking for someone Jenny didn't know. She figured it was a wrong number, but then she noticed something strange. The lights in the house were still on, even though the children had turned them off before going to bed. She also noticed that the door was unlocked. Jenny felt uneasy, but went back to bed after making sure everything else seemed fine. About 30 minutes later, Jenny was startled by a loud thump on the roof, followed by a rolling sound. She didn't hear anything more and tried to go back to sleep. But soon after, she smelled smoke. She and her husband George woke up to find the house on fire, and the flames were spreading fast. George and Jenny managed to escape with 4 of their children, but the other 5 who were sleeping upstairs were nowhere to be found. George tried desperately to reach them. He attempted to climb the exterior walls, but the ladder he usually used was mysteriously missing. He tried to start his truck to pull the ladder with it, but for some reason, the truck wouldn't start either. In those frantic moments, George and Jenny could do nothing to reach their children. By the time firefighters arrived hours later, the house had been completely destroyed. However, the most shocking discovery came when they sifted through the ashes. No remains of the 5 missing children were found. There were no bones, no bodies, nothing to suggest that they had perished in the fire. The firefighters speculated that the blaze had been hot enough to completely cremate the bodies. But this explanation didn't hold up. Typically, even in intense fires, human bones remain. Further investigation revealed strange occurrences leading up to the fire. Weeks before the incident, a man had visited the Sodder home trying to sell George life insurance. When George declined, the man told him, "Your house will go up in smoke, and your children will be destroyed because of the things you said about Mussolini." George, an Italian immigrant, was a vocal critic of the Italian dictator Benito Mussolini, which had earned him enemies in the local community. After the fire, several witnesses claimed to have seen the missing Sodder children in various locations. One woman said she saw the children peering from a car that drove past the fire scene on that fateful night. Another woman claimed to have seen them with a man and a woman in a hotel a few days after the fire. But none of these leads were ever confirmed. In 1968, over 2 decades after the fire, the Sodders received a mysterious letter in the mail. Inside was a photograph of a young man who bore a striking resemblance to their missing son, Louis. Written on the back of the photo were the cryptic words, "Louis Sodder. I love brother Frankie. Ill boys. A 90132 or 35. The message was baffling and provided no clear answers. George and Jenny Sodder spent the rest of their lives searching for the truth about what happened to their children.